Video. As we move closer towards the end of the month, I just want to recap the previous batch video that I did, and thanks to James who noticed a slight change on Icon's website earlier today that perhaps gives us the next kind of indication that the next two batches might be a little bit closer together than they have been previously, just because of obviously the holiday break and shipments being delayed and just the sheer number of Hot Toys being released. But I do want to very quickly start off with the Hot Toys TK Stormtrooper that was revealed earlier today. If you haven't watched The Bad Batch, basically these guys were the prototype Stormtroopers that appeared. Now, Hot Toys has been really sneaky here, and they've given us 4 different display styles. There is a special edition exclusive. He is about 480 AUD shipped currently. If you don't want to overpay with a premium vendor or someone that charges crazy money to allow you to pick this stuff up, I very quickly suggest contacting Jefferson Tan. He did advertise in the chat earlier that he can pick up a small allocation, and mine, I've already put the deposit down for this guy. So yeah, this is a throwback to the Hawkback Clone Troopers, if you've seen that episode of the Clone Wars. So yeah, it is an old throwback, but I like the idea of having a guy in front in this getup, and then 2 guys at the back, like this. So I may potentially get 3, 1 exclusive, 2 standard. I'm waiting to see what Pop Culture's retail pricing on the standard is like. But yeah, 480 AUD shipped for the exclusive. Hit up Jefferson Tan. He's in the group. You can just kind of make a post or message him directly. If you're not in the chat, make a comment, and I will drop the link to the chat for you. Alrighty, that kind of wraps up our little Bad Batch Stormtrooper. So, next week we move into almost, not quite, the last week of the month, and we obviously have the public holiday before school heads back. So that public holiday may throw this kind of out a tiny bit, but currently we have the 31st of January as being the estimated batch for this month. Now, if last year is anything to go by, these dates are out by a week. They usually send the invoices a week early or a week late, just depending on when things come in. So I'm actually expecting these to be in on the 20th, that being next Tuesday. So I'm actually going to have a look, probably pre-order this Bib Fortuna because I haven't done that yet, and have a look to see kind of what else is there. But for me, it's Bib Fortuna and X23 if this information is correct. Icon have not been wrong on any figure update in the last year and a half. Anything that's changed has come in either with that batch or slightly later. So there is a very good chance that we will see these within the next week or so. So we have the Bib Fortuna from Sideshow Collectibles. We have the Commander Wolf. We have the Amazing Spider-Man Deluxe. This one could possibly be incorrect because the standard didn't update, but we have seen with figures in the past that one or the other comes in, not both. It just depends on which one was the more popular of the 2 and which one has the quicker production time allocated to it. We have X23. Very, very excited to get our girl. This is going to be great. Having her. I got Dr. Doom today. Very, very impressed. And I know sometimes people go, "Oh, it's just a Marvel character," but every now and again we get stellar Marvel figures that really stand out, and I think she's going to be one of those figures like the Dr. Doom. Wednesday, this is going to be one to watch. She has currently sold out overseas. If you saw, 1/6 Kit actually had his allocation slashed dramatically. I don't know whether we're going to see the same fate. I have been tossing a coin, umming and ahhing as to whether I want to order her. I know my sister is getting one, and I think that's going to be enough just to know that at least someone in the family has this. Whether or not I want to pick it up and we potentially have two copies, I don't know. We have a Beetlejuice each, so there is that. But yeah, this is going to be the one to watch. I reckon it'll be very interesting to see, because that still says that retailers can pre-order them. That has me scared that she's going to potentially be a Krennic Tarkin oversale, where people are going to be jumping, wait, where's my invoice? And they're going to be like, oh, we oversold. I hope I'm wrong, and that perhaps it was just certain areas that had their allocations cut. But yeah, this is going to be the worry figure in the batch, I think. We have Soups, Crypto, and we have this beefy guy, and I believe that yeah, the Armory. Armory as well, again, pre-sold out, so I don't know. Supergirl, no spares. Feral Predator, no spares. There have been a bunch of pre-sold stuff. Doom, no spares. Yeah, previously it pre-sells out. People go, oh, it's fine, we'll just wait for pop culture to put it up. A lot of figures have not had spares. I was very surprised to see extras of Wolverine. However, that kept jumping off the website quite quickly. I don't know if it's still there. I'm not going to check to see if it's still there. But some of them disappear very, very quickly, and others just never make it up there. So yeah, and I think they got a small allocation of Indiana Jones spares as well, perhaps. But yeah, the last time I got a spare, I think, was She-Hulk. So yeah, it's just one of those things. Now, as I said, the T800 did not update. He's a maybe, but at this point I'm guessing he will be later, as more than likely this Batman. This Vader, I've got no freaking idea what's going on. Secret Base did not, so for those of you that aren't aware, there was that extra version that came with the coin, and you could order it through Sideshow, or you could order it through a Hong Kong vendor, and you got it, and it said special edition came for coin. That version of the figure was prioritized over the regular tray. Hot Toys does not use the same trays for its deluxes and whatnot like other companies do. If you get a caustic plastic figure every now and again, there'll be a tray and it'll be missing pieces because you got the standard, not the deluxe. And 3-0 were notorious for it in the past as well, especially with the Game of Thrones figures. You would always get a missing sword or something because you didn't order the web exclusive. This standard version released in Secret Base the week of Christmas. I don't know whether Sideshow has started sending out the non-coined version yet. We won't get it until Sideshow has fulfilled their allocation. That's just the be-all and end-all. It is the figure that we've waited the longest for so far. The previous one was Return of the Jedi C-3PO and I think it was the Kenobi Vader. A lot of people waited a very long time for the Kenobi Vader. I think it was those two. Before that, it was the 1984 Wonder Woman because people just simply didn't order the figure. The large allocation of the special edition sold. No one ordered the standard, and so it was just set on the back burner for ages. As I said, this didn't update. Very strange. But again, it could be the same situation as this, where the deluxe was ordered by more people, and so they put their effort into that first. This TVA jacket guy, he didn't update either, nor did our Loki or Harley Quinn. Now, I did gloss over one. It was this, 28th of February. So he originally said 30th of September, same as this Terminator. This morning, or midday, he changed to 28th of February 2026. As far as I know, this is the only figure to do so. I'm going to go back through and see if any others have changed, but I would dare say that we are definitely getting a February batch, and we are definitely getting a January batch. So I reckon if it is next week, that'll be 20th of January, that'd be roughly 6 weeks. We know that the batches are roughly 6 to 8 weeks apart. So yeah, I reckon perhaps even 20th of January, 20th of February, which we haven't had 2 batches this close for a very long time, which makes me think that it could be most of this stuff, because this stuff is going to have very large boxes, so it's going to be a lot easier to fill a container. Just send a small batch with a bunch of large boxes. Pop Culture only ever gets full containers. They do not, and they request that Sideshow do not send them anything unless the container is full, and that is why we get so many figures a month. It's because all those figures get pushed back, they get loaded into the one container, and then they all ship. It takes X amount of time to get here. A lot of people give Pop Culture hell for it, and a lot of them go, oh, why haven't you got this, why haven't you got this, and the Pop Culture staff get quite nasty and quite pissed off, because people simply do not understand how it works. That is why I have these videos, that is why I share this information, so leave Pop Culture alone. The nicer the community is to them, the nicer they are to us, and lately they have been total assholes. And that really showed in the November Supernova, where they pretty much refused any discounts, no matter how long of a customer you'd been with them, or no matter how much you were ordering. They simply went, well, I'll just give you a 10%. It's the first Supernova I've been to where they have not had a 20% off in November, and I was quite disappointed by that. Anyway, guys, that has been our recap. So the only really new information is this. I apologize for leaving it to the end, but it made perfect sense. But yeah, if you didn't have the previous information, Bib Fortuna, Commander Wolf, Spidey, 23, Wednesday, Soups, Dawn of Justice Batman, the Armory are going to be our batch, and I would probably expect invoices to go out next week, if not the week after, as this says. Very rarely is it the week after. I don't think we'll be getting invoices in February. I think it will be January, and then we will keep an eye on this to see if any other figures get the 28th of February knock back. And when those figures do go live, I normally do the extra video saying, hey guys, these are definitely in stock. Check inboxes, check invoices. Pop Culture don't like you ringing up requesting invoices anymore. They do get quite narky at you for that. It's because the processing team has so much to do. I have heard there were a few people who didn't get their previous invoice for whatever reason. That was in the last batch, the batch that was like the 16th of December. So every so often they do miss someone, but it is very rare, and it's mostly just a patience waiting game. If I know someone gets an invoice and it's been about 2 or 3 days, then I'll generally reach out to them and be like, oh hey, I've seen the community people get this invoice. Has my order arrived? Da 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 da. And generally they'll fix you up and then process it. But they have been pretty much on the ball in the chat. Generally, some guy will get a Wolverine invoice, and then 5 minutes later the next guy will, and then 2 minutes later the next guy will, and then by the end of the afternoon we all generally have the invoice for the same figure. So it is just a waiting game. Anyway guys, I'm starting to ramble. This video was longer than I wanted it to be. Hopefully this information has helped you, and as I said, if you are going to reach out to Jefferson for this guy, and you don't have access to the chat or access to Jeff, just drop a comment or reach out, and I will send you the link to the chat so you can do that. 480 AUD. Don't know what the other vendors are charging. Jefferson's always been cheaper, in my opinion. So it's just one of those things. Anyway, guys, thank you very much, and hopefully this information has helped you.